the South African Communications Industry Association, it stands for cohesion within the industry per se. And what is the mission statement? If you look at the articles of incorporation or the constitution, whatever you may call it, what is that one mission statement that we should hear from SACIA?
So in practical terms, we say that our objective is to promote the adoption of professional standards and ethical business practices in the events and entertainment industry across Africa. I'm glad I got that off the top of my head.
No, good. You on a roll there. Continue.
Yeah. So yeah, it really is that simple. So our focus is on standards, training, and industry certification. Daryl was talking about the designations that are awarded by Site International. We're obviously a SACIA recognized professional body. We're the only professional body recognized by SACIA in the South African market that's active in the events industry. And so part of our mandate is to develop and award and manage, and where necessary, revoke professional designations to people working in the events industry. And we have several designations that we award, some of them to professionals working in event management, but others relevant to event safety and to event technology. So actually we have a professional designation that can apply to a broad range of professionals working in the events sector.
Yeah, so essentially SACIA, the main mission is to represent the communications and audiovisual industry by supporting those professionals and practitioners as well as businesses across live event sector. So what are the industry standards that you promote, that you've alluded to some of it now, but could you maybe just unpack a bit more about that? And because that would probably be an incentive for people to join or the industry bodies, whoever, to join the association, Kevan.
Yeah, so I think if we had to focus on standards for a second, the core standard that applies to the events industry is the SANS 10366 National Standard for Safety in the Events Industry. It's a fairly kind of sizable document, this is what it looks like. And if you go to page, I think it's page 2 of the document, there's an addendum that reads that the SABS Standards Division wishes to acknowledge, I'm reading it out the book, the valuable assistance derived from publications of the Technical Production Services Association, the TPSA. Now, the TPSA is one of the councils that exists within SACIA, and so collectively we've been involved in contributing towards the development of the national standard for more than 15 years. And so promoting the adoption of professional standards and ensuring that there's an alignment with international standards is absolutely critical. Again, when Daryl was speaking earlier, he spoke about the importance of international standards. This is an industry that doesn't operate in a silo. It requires cooperation and collaboration between multiple stakeholders. And the last thing that an event organizer, particularly an event organizer that's traveling around the world, wants to do is have different standards that apply in different countries. And in the case of South Africa, the last thing that people want is to have the application of different standards across different municipalities. And so creating standards is key. But then also going back to the other issues, there's no point in having a standard unless people know that it exists. And there's no point in having a standard unless you teach people how to work according to that standard. So standards training and industry certification are key elements for us. And as I said, we have several designations that we award either to event managers, event safety officers, and people working in event technology.
Yeah. So as an industry body, SACIA, linking upskilling and training towards that standards is of utmost importance then for the industry body like yourselves.
Yes, exactly that. So we're very actively involved in the development of standards. but we're also very actively involved in delivering training programs. I know that several of the associations also deliver training, but I think that the training programs that we've delivered over the last decade are probably more significant. I don't want to say they're more significant. What's the right word here? We've just had many more people come through our training programs. And so training is a core part of what it is that we do. We have a training, our event management training program kicks off later this month. We're starting it on the 23rd of June. We have our event safety training course running at the end of the year. I think it kicks off sometime in September. And we have other training programs that we have already run during the course of this year. So training is a big part of what it is that we want to do, but all of the training needs to lead to a particular outcome. And so, giving people the opportunity to earn a professional designation that's registered with SACIA and that recognizes their skill and their knowledge and their competence is absolutely core to what it is that SACIA does.
Yeah. So my understanding, part of the reason to belong to a tribe, a community, an association, or an industry body for that matter, is the aspect of I'm being protected in many ways by belonging. Okay. And so if you were to meet me in the elevator today, and I'm saying to you, I'm in your industry, what is it that you would say to me as to why I should join up as a professional?
I would say we're the only association that provides professional recognition that is registered with SACIA. And so it's about forming an alliance and being part of a community of people that are working together to drive the adoption of professional standards and to uplift the environment in which we work. That's the simple version.
The 30-second elevator pitch. So, Kevan, you're also involved in the upcoming summit, Industry Safety Summit.
Yes, exactly that. So it goes really back to what I was saying about, it's important to have standards, but people need to be aware of what those standards are. And we need to have active dialogue between all of the stakeholders. And so the Safety Summit is really an opportunity for all stakeholders focused on event safety to come together and to talk about how we can apply safe working practices into the events industry. Our summit will include, of course, event organizers and event safety officers, but it will also include local, provincial, national government. It'll include representatives from South African Police Service, all stakeholders coming together, including academics, to have a conversation about event safety, the importance of event safety, and the practical application of safety protocols.
Yeah. So lastly, as Levon put it quite rightly so a few minutes ago, it's not necessarily the challenge, but the opportunity. What is the opportunity for SACIA?
I think the opportunity for SACIA is really to broaden our scope and to work more closely with other industry associations. I think that we realize that we can't do everything on our own, and we have good working relationships with most of the associations in our sector. For example, and you spoke about getting the young people involved earlier, we presented our SACIA student membership certificates to youngsters from Tshwane University of Technology at the EXA Global Exhibitions Day function that took place last week. We're busy working with the EGF to promote their upcoming webinar on environmental sustainability. So we work closely with many other industry associations, and I think we want for that not only to continue, but to be a core part of our growth going forward. We can't do it all on our own, and we can work more effectively or achieve our objectives more effectively when we work in collaboration with other associations active in the sector.
Yeah, thanks, Kevan, and thanks for coming along, because I believe that perhaps without having discussed it or mentioned it, is that by having this platform and having trade associations presenting themselves today, as perhaps that start of saying, guys, we need to collaborate more than fighting each other. I'm not saying that's going on in the industry, but I think it's always good to have that kind of outlook, because it's always a nice thing to have a piece of the bigger cake than a large piece of a small cake. Okay, so thanks for coming along, Kevan. Appreciate it.